All right. So I've not recorded a video in a long time, so it's not going to be as smooth. अगर पहले smooth था, which I don't think था, but it's fine. Yeah, lots been up, lots happened. I think last video was like 3 months ago. Yeah, and like बीच में streaming चल रही है. Like we've been doing streaming a lot. Um, so yeah, that's happening, and also subscribers have increased. But like, here's the thing with YouTube right now. I don't want to focus on numbers and all. I just do it because like it's fun right now, and matlab, like just because it's fun and like I like to do it. That's what's been happening, and it's like Shashwat at the stream. It's fun to like kind of you know like have him also see कि like अच्छा ठीक है ये कर रहे हैं like this is what I'm up to and whatnot. So he says his thing. I say like अपना stream पे दिखता है. It's been like a fun vibe in general with the. So yeah. Other than that, there's been like a lot has happened in these 3 months, especially like career wise, which like I'm very thankful for. And Abhi, I think like you know, I can maybe get a schedule where I can get to maybe stream regularly, because I do want to do it more. Maybe on the weekends, like I'll do it like Saturday, Sunday, or like maybe once during the week, depending on like how the schedule is. So yeah, I want to make like a proper thing where because I'm gonna make projects, and like I'm also not at like a junior level, but I'm also not like a senior level yet. So like that transition of how do you go from this to that, I think like I can maybe do that on stream, which will be something good for me to look back on later, based on like because I keep making projects. If I stream them, I know कि like okay, like I know I'm getting better, I know I'm doing this and that, not because like knowledge तो वैसे भी आने वाली है. तो basically that's like why I want to keep streaming. So yeah, that's that. Anyway, point is like now we're gonna talk about like some projects we made, which like went decent. You know. So yeah, first is Chai and Vim, which is basically a color theme for NeoVim. This was originally made by Hitesh sir for VS Code, and it was not like for NeoVim. But I was like, I always wanted to make a color theme for NeoVim, and I was just like perfect opportunity. So I did that to like prove the colors that he has for his color theme, and like basically change them to VS Code. Got to learn Qafi about NeoVim in general, which like syntax groups and highlight groups. The way I understand is that your syntax groups are like HTML and your highlight groups are like CSS. You basically, when you're making a color theme, you target the highlight groups and change the color over there. So, for example, if you go here, I think index, right? Yeah. So over here. So basically, this is I'm using Color Buddy, which is made by TJ. TJ mentioned. But yeah, all your groups are over here, where basically comment string variable and whatnot. These are groups that are already present, or like already there. It's not like you're creating your own groups, like highlight groups. Even though it's literally creating the groups, like that you're binding like the color to the group. So yeah, that's been there. Like all this P menu select, line number, cursor line, whatnot. And then there's also like plugin support. Basically, your plugin would also define some group, right? So if you want to apply your color theme there, तो उसके लिए भी है basically. So like for example, telescope पे जाओ, you have like these groups, and you're basically either binding the color and whatnot to that particular group for that particular plugin. So that's what I understood with like this thing. And in general, NeoVim is something where like I want to understand how like everything works in NeoVim, because I want to make stuff for NeoVim in general. And I think like I can see myself kind of giving it a few 10 years, like something, जहाँ पे, or maybe even like for life, as long as I'm programming, जहाँ पे make stuff for NeoVim. Like NeoVim plugins are a thing. If anyone wants to make a NeoVim plugin, they're like, oh yeah, Shobit knows it. So that's what I want to, be at. So that's for Chai. Other than that, it's got like I posted on Twitter, LinkedIn, and Peerlist. Twitter, I did mess up on the timing, but like it got like 1K views, which is like pretty nice, I would say. LinkedIn I put, which is where Hitesh sir did like it, so like that got a lot of impressions and whatnot. Peerlist I just put it because like launch week chalta rehta and I wanted to like launch something there. So that did like not too bad, but not too good also. But it's like ठीक है, that's like I didn't share it peerless का link इतना also, which is fine. So yeah, that's for Chai and Vim. This I launched yesterday, Server MCP server. I went into model context protocol का पूरा hype whatnot. The way, even though there's like a definition here, the way I understand it is that um, the protocol itself is basically, um, क्या कहते हैं, now there's one way to talk to LLMs basically, which I think like yeah standardizes how applications provide context to LLM. ठीक है, fancy way to put it, but like the right way to put it. So yeah, think of MCP like a USB-C port for AI applications, and in an MCP का जो architecture उसमें है, there's a client and a server, right? So something like Claude Desktop would be your MCP client, and you would be making the MCP server, or you would be using someone else's MCP server. I'm more interested in the MCP server part because like that's where you make your own stuff, right? MCP client also you can make your own client, but you would have to do like क्या कहते हैं, you would be the one calling basically the APIs, which will do the like how do I put this? Your MCP clients will make money because they are the one that are losing money from their end to make the API calls to the LLM, right? Yeah, I hope that was clear. नहीं है तो कोई नहीं, just it's too bad. So yeah, this is your thing, whatnot. Remote services, yeah. So this server MCP server right now is a local server, I think. Yeah, because I have to like if I have to make this like a remote thing, I have to put it on Cloudflare and whatnot. And shout out to WebHub on Twitter for this idea. So I'll look into that. He did send an article which I have to read, which also reminded me like the Twitter launch for Server MCP. It got like let me check up. I think last 7K views tha, which should yeah it's like 8K views now, and like it got retweeted by the Sarvam ka team. Someone co-tweeted it saying ki, like they basically launched like a series of launches because of their APIs and models, which is fair. They've been doing pretty cool stuff, and the benefit of this is like they've given the APIs. Now what you can do is that if you want to do some translation or like text analysis or whatever, you can basically do that in Claude itself. You don't have to like you know um, either make your own thing, or if you're using something which you want better result, you can just try it out on your MCP client like Claude Desktop जो भी है. So yeah, that's been pretty fun to make. I think might go into MCP servers more. कुछ अगर अच्छा बनाने को मिला, I'll try that. I wanted to make something which was not already made, and like Servam is fairly new with their launches and whatnot. So I felt like this was nice. I think someone already did make one MCP server before, but like I got to know that after I made this, so it's fine. People also start this, so shout out. Pretty cool. It was pretty fun. Baki, what else? Yeah, these were like the main two projects I made. इसके बाद I had one more in mind, which I have to make. उसका like I'll not say anything right now. What else is there? Bangalore meetups ka has been going. So there's not much feature wise that's been shipped. It's in development, but also mainly because like time इतना मिला नहीं है. But like I've been adding events धीरे धीरे, and like as such it's like a stable website and whatnot. I do have like this month I'm going to be shifting like few features. One is this filtering ka option. You'll basically have an option to filter all the events over here because like by category basically. So for the longest time I was thinking how do I add the filters on like a UI level, because like there's a lot of categories and like कितने को तुम मतलब ऐसे ऊपर add कर दोगे. So now I have an idea which is like a drawer basically जो निकलेगा, and you'll be able to do that. So yeah, that's been in the works. I have to like abhi now I'm going to be mainly focusing on Bangalore meetups, mainly other than like new projects. Projects ki jagah I'm going to be trying out prototypes, maybe like one project, but that's like a very simple thing. It's not like a Herculean task or whatever. This month I have like two prototypes to try. One is like a payment system prototype and some audio prototype. जिसमें I have been wanting to explore audio, right? So उसका करना है. Yeah, then like open source. So on time is the product repository I've been contributing to for a while. Last few contributions have been small, but like they've been in the backlog. kahin na kahin, so I think like it's good to kind of get them done. Otherwise, again like the maintainer, the developers who are actually making this, like they're doing insane stuff. They're very they communicate very well. I think like I've picked up a lot of good things from the code base from them, their explanations. So they even recommended like जो title में books का है, they recommended me to read. I don't know if I can see इसमें Pragmatic Programmer, and I ended up getting it. So started reading, and it's like a great book, probably like one of the best programming books I've read till now, because there's a lot of things which like I end up doing which I know कि like ठीक है मतलब this is not something I should be doing, but this like helps you kind of give you the whole logic of like ठीक है this is what like this is your underlying assumption, this is where you're wrong, or this is how maybe you should go about it as a pragmatic programmer if you want to be like a pragmatic programmer. A pragmatic basically means realistic, like it's like when you're a programmer, you think you'll only be with tech people. I'm just like giving a small example, but it's not your own, like you're not only going to be dealing with tech people, right? So you can't talk tech words to everyone. So if you're talking to your manager, you would talk a bit differently. Basically, you would ask like whoever the next party is, like the party in front of you is, do they care? What do they care about? Like what do they want to know, basically, in their words, or in something that they would understand. Like someone who doesn't know about APIs, if you're telling them about APIs, unless they're interested and they want to know, but like I'm talking specifically about like workplace and like projects and all, where you're working in a team, um, get them, like tell them whatever your updates is in the way they would understand in their own words, or like in words they would understand, basically. Uh, which like usually, I've seen this issue like I would go on like a tech rant to like people who are not into tech. So yeah, some like small example. Otherwise, they've given like good coding philosophies also. I think I'm right now reading how to balance resources, so that's going to be fun. Isabella Sessions ka kuch tha. There's like a few fun project ideas which I might stream. So let's see. That's been pretty fun. But I see myself like contributing to this more. In fact, there's a one task. It's called PR खुला ही हुआ है. I have to sort that. Where is it? Yeah. There's like one issue I have to sort over here. Uska PR I had to open. But yeah, once this is done, I'll be getting a few UI tasks, I think. So that's going to be pretty fun. And yeah, amazing project, amazing, maintainers, and like, I went to the channel Discord, and like people are posting like, how they're using the software and whatnot. And it's kind of nice to see that, like, and this has been in works for like 5 years, I think. So it's like a thing, ki like, oh, on now as a developer, I can come here, I can, contribute to a code which is like 5 years old and like actually understand coding philosophies. Ki um, like one of the parts I was saying, ki like, oh, we could refactor this because like the maintainer said, ki this is might be a bit complex. I was like, oh, let's refactor it. Like, no, we don't need to refactor it unless like it's affecting other places too much also. Just because it's complex right now doesn't mean we need to refactor it right now, especially when like from my end I don't understand the whole code base properly, right? Or like probably in a sense like complete code base because like there's a lot of features and whatnot. So it doesn't make sense to refactor it that way also. So I was like, yeah, that's fair. I didn't think about it because I've been in a very refactored mood recently, and that's like a thing. So yeah, that's been going on. Did I mention I might stream regularly? Probably. I don't remember. So yeah, that's pretty much it. There are a few more books I got to read, but like we'll maybe do like a book review or whatever, something like that. But yeah, expect more streams because I do want to be streaming more. It's pretty fun for me to like kind of like when I stream and I look back at the code I've written, I'm like, मैं क्या बकवास कर रहा हूँ? Which is like good because that helps me get better. Because like I'm seeing like when I'm going wrong or like how can I think about it better when I am coding. So yeah, I think that's like we'll end it there. Or kuch I don't think hai. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. Chalo, bye bye. Next video, next stream, whatever. Chalo, bye bye.